talk about the power of being delusional and that everything that you desire is already written in the stars. And that's one belief or one thing that I can't even say belief. It's something that is so deeply ingrained in my system that it's kept me over water through any darkness or anything that I've ever experienced in my life. And it's funny because I chose my DJ name Delulu exactly because of that. Because to me, being delusional is the key factor to success. I believe that if you're not delusional, you're not gonna be where you want to be someday. And I think, of course, like everyone has different goals and everyone wants something else from life. But no matter what your goals are, like there's some point of delusion that you have to have. Otherwise, you're just not gonna make it. Because, like, for example, for me, if I would not be delusional about this podcast, I would not have restarted posting again, or I would have never even started DJing in the first place because why would I? You know what I mean? There's just this certain amount of delusion that you have to have in order to really push through the obstacles that are going to be thrown at you. And I think that the higher your purpose is, and why am I even saying I think? I know that the higher your calling is and the higher your purpose is. And I don't mean this in a one thing is better than the other type concept. No, I mean this more in a way of like some beings are coming to earth to like have a very big purpose. Like the things that we're meant to do and create are so big and so tremendous that they can seem very delusional to other people. Like, no matter where you're from, no matter where you live, if you know you're meant to do something specifically, you're meant to live somewhere specific, you're meant to create something very specific, then that is for a reason. That is because something inside of you knows that you're going to create this and you're going to have to create this in some area of your life. And the key factor that I've been noticing, no matter where you look, no matter who you dive into, is more what I want to say, is like every successful person that you look up online that is crazy successful, I mean, world known person, they all have the characteristic of being delusional. They all talk about it. They all talk about this inner force within you where you're so delusional that you just know that it's going to happen even though you don't have any evidence. And I think that's like the biggest indicator that you're on the right track, is that you are in a place where you're so delusional that in your mind it's already done, it's already complete, it's already done. And even though it makes no sense to anyone else, it makes sense to you. And I highly want to encourage you to be the most delusional as you can possibly be. Like, if people ask me if I'm delusional, I always say yes. It's so interesting how people think it's like a negative thing. I don't know why it even has a negative character. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure why does it have this very negative, because sometimes people look at me or in general talk about like being delusional and then saying it as something negative. I mean, I think it can be negative if you use it for the wrong purpose, right? But in me, in generally speaking, I want to say that being delusional is like the best thing you can be. Because if we go back to the concept of manifestation and that we are the creators of our own lives, then our thoughts are manifesting our reality. So if we believe something to be true, it's going to be true because it's inevitable. Like, you have created it in your mind, so it has to happen. Of course, there's like some degree of divine intervention, and I do believe that our lives is kind of already written in a sense. So like, the experience that we're having, the things that are coming to us in life are exactly the things that we need to experience. And there might be things that we want to pursue in this lifetime, but we're just not meant to pursue. And that's why it's just not gonna work out. But that's why I mean, like, you can be delusional about your whole life and, like, just be delusional about so many things because there are going to be things that are just gonna pop. Like, there's gonna things that are just gonna blow up and you're not gonna know where it's gonna come from. And you're gonna be so surprised. But it is because it was always meant to happen that way. And that's what I mean. I think, like, delusional to me is like a very positive word because for me it has more like the idea of like speaking things to into existence and just from a standpoint of a logical mind. Like, you're at this standpoint probably, but the way that you're looking at it in your mind is like up here. It's like upper level, or you're like sky high with the vision that you have. And of course, for people that know you or that have known you for years and whatsoever, and they might know your circumstances or whatever else, they might see it logically speaking as something that is delusional because it it to them it just doesn't make sense that someone with those circumstances can achieve something that is that high. But then that's the whole point. Like, those people are just limiting themselves with the things that they believe because they could also dream about this big vision. But maybe because they think that being delusional is like a negative thing, to them it's like, oh no, I don't want to go there with my mind because then I could be perceived as being delusional. You know where I'm trying to get with this? Like, to me, being delusional is like really the greatest things ever. Genuinely. And I know there's like a negative obsession and things, but that to me is not delusion, is it? I don't know. But yeah, anyways, I think, and from past experience, and I think to me, like, DJing really is the one thing where I want to say that I was so delusional about it and just stayed with my delusion that it just worked out perfectly. And I mean, a little background story to this is just that I wanted to be a DJ for quite some time, but not really like I want to be a DJ, I have to be this. It was more like I think it would be fun because I love music, I love techno music, I've been loving it forever, I grew up with it. So to me, it just always was something that I was looking up to, like these people that just, like can create this feeling in a room and just, like magnetize you with the way that they select music. And I always loved it, but I never really saw myself as someone who would be in that position. But then half a year ago, like I think around a half a year ago, I met someone and he believed so much in me and really, or it wasn't more than just one person, but it all started with him. And then they came, like different people came into my life that were teaching me how to DJ, and they always made it seem like very easy. They always told me like it's not as hard, it's easy, like you don't have to overcomplicate this, just select your music and the rest is gonna figure out itself. And it always did. It always did. You know what I mean? And like, I think not 3 months, was it 3 months after? I want to say it was 3 months after I started practicing to DJ. I already had my first DJ gig. And of course, I mean, I had been in that bubble of DJ. So of course it was an easier access for me to like enter this fear. But at the same time, if I wouldn't have been so delusional about my own capability and own skills that I was just able to just do it and I'm just gonna have fun with it and just gonna see where I can take it, I don't think that I would be at the point where I am right now. Where, like, for example, the next 3 weekends, I have a gig. You know what I mean? And this is not to brag, it's just more to like show you what is possible and that it is possible If you're delusional and you combine your delusion with trusting and believing in yourself. And I mean, the one thing that I don't want to underestimate, and that is like a big factor and has been a big one for me, is if you have someone in your surroundings, it doesn't matter who it is, if you're super close with them or not so close, it really helps if you find that one person that just believes in you. That believes in you no matter what you do, and that just tells you that it's easy, that you can do it, and yeah, just someone who's just gonna drag you along with them. And it's such a gift when you meet someone like that. Like, they don't have to be that for like every aspect of your life, but if they believe in one aspect that you want to achieve or that you just find fun to achieve, yes, let's go. Like, that really helped. Like, that genuinely helped me. And if you don't have that, like, that's totally fine too. It does help, but you can also do it on your own. You are capable. And I think that's like the one thing that I want to tell you is that you are capable. And it helps being delusional, but you're gonna make it anyways. It doesn't matter if you're that delusional or not, but it helps. It really helps, and it really helped me. And I can only encourage you to be as delusional as possible and just stay delusional. So, yeah. And especially if someone talks against your delusion or your vision, that's a very big indicator that you're on the right track. I hope you enjoyed this episode today. I'm very grateful that you stopped by, and I hope to see you in the next one.